Hi, thanks everybody. So welcome again to chair yoga. Let's find ourselves a comfortable seated posture. Also, if you'd like to take some time standing, you can also do this practice from a standing posture, or even move out of your chair and you could sit on the floor. Just anything to get a little break from your office space. So once you find a comfortable seated or standing position, let's take a few moments here where we just notice what's happening in our body. So we might close our eyes. If it feels more comfortable, we might also find a spot on the wall in front of us to focus on. And then let's notice the feeling of our feet touching the floor. Let's also notice where else our bodies touch the floor or our chair if we're seated. Wiggle our toes a few times. Relax our feet. Let's wiggle our fingers. Relax our hands. And let's start to lengthen our inhales and our exhales. See if we can take a big breath in so it feels like we're filling our lungs with air. We might feel our belly expand. And when we breathe out, feel all the air leaving our lungs. We might feel our bellies deflate. Pretty often when we think about a yoga practice, we think mostly about the asana or the postures, those poses that we do on our mats. But yoga is a philosophy for better living, and it can be practiced, and it mostly is practiced off of our mats as well as on our mats. And a big component of a yoga practice, one of the 8 limbs, is pranayama, or breath control. So this breathing that we're doing right now is an important part of a yoga practice, and I feel like is one of the most beneficial parts of yoga, at least for our stress management and health benefits. I'd like to keep our attention inward for the next 10 minutes. And so give yourself permission to use this next 7 or 8 minutes just for your yoga practice. So give yourself permission to set aside your to-do list. Intentionally set aside thoughts of what's happened so far today, and projections for what might happen after this. Just give yourself time to be here. To use these big breaths throughout our practice, let's add some movement here. Let's do some slow shoulder rolls. When we breathe in, let's bring our shoulders forward and up towards the ceiling. And when we breathe out, we bring our shoulders backwards and down toward the floor. Let's do a few more just like this. You move on your pace, just directed by your breath. So you can move faster or slower than me. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. The next time we breathe in, let's switch directions. So we'll bring shoulders backwards and up, and forwards and down. And last time. And we can relax our hands down, maybe shake out our arms, shake out our fingers. And let's take our hands up toward the ceiling when we inhale. Reach hands up for the sky. When we exhale, we can bring our hands into heart center, lightly press thumbs into our chest to connect with our breath, Inhale, big reach up. And check in with shoulders here, all the muscles around. And if this range of motion doesn't feel good in shoulders, adjust it so that it does. Your hands don't have to go all the way up for the ceiling. Hands don't have to go out to the side. We just want to find a range of motion that feels good right now. Let's do some movement. Our arms and our shoulders and our backs in a different position than they tend to be when we're seated or working at our computers. All right, when we bring our hands to heart center, next meet me here. Inhale, let's reach hands out towards your computer. So reach out in front and maybe even let shoulders round in a bit. Now when we exhale, we're gonna open up our chest, lift our hearts a bit, a little bit of a back bend, chest opening, and reach forward. Inhale, if we'd like, we can clasp our hands, press palms out, and then inhale, release, reach back. Again, finding range of motion that feels good. If interlacing fingers doesn't feel good, we can always hold one wrist. Let's get a little bit more stretch for one side of the back, a little bit of stretch for the wrist, but nothing more than a gentle sensation there. Let's do about 2 more of these, and then we'll meet with hands relaxed at our sides or on our laps. Maybe close our eyes again. Take a few deep breaths. I always lose count, even for 2. Just rolling the shoulders back a few times feels good. Do that. Shake out the shoulders a bit if that feels good. We're gonna do some movement for our backs, even more than we just were with a cat-cow. I'm gonna turn to the side, but you can stay right where you are. So if we turn to the side, we can lean forward, hands on our laps. And we're going to exhale, arch our backs up toward the ceiling, bring our chin in towards our chest, just like a cat does when startled. On our inhale, we're gonna press our tailbone back. We're going to lift our belly button, we're gonna lift our chest, and we'll tilt our chins up just a bit. There should be lots of space behind our necks. And when we exhale, we can round forward again, let the shoulders round in. And when we inhale, lift tailbone, belly button, chest, and chin. Let's do a few more of these. If we're standing and doing this, we might bend our knees a bit so we get into sort of a half squat or a half chair, and that will give us more range of motion in cat-cow. All right, over the next few, notice which posture feels the best right now, either cat or cow. There's no right or wrong answer for this. This is all how this feels. And when you're in that pose that feels the best of the 2 next, just hold there for a few breaths. See if we can lengthen our inhale and our exhale. And release into the other pose just for a moment. And let's inhale, sit up tall. We'll add a bit of twisting work here to our practice. So we're gonna do this as a flow first to make sure we're warmed up, and then we'll hold. So we'd like to sit up tall. We'd like to feel both feet on the floor, feel our sit bones on our chair for sitting. For standing, we wanna feel connection across both of our feet. And so we inhale, lift through the top of our head, through the roof of our mouth, and we'll exhale, and we're just gonna turn to one side. Just a little quarter twist, maybe an 1/8 of a twist. Inhale back to center, and exhale, we'll twist in the other direction. Inhale back to center, and exhale, twist. We can move our hands around with us if we'd like. One hand maybe behind the back of our chair, one hand on our opposite leg. We'd like our shoulders to stay at about the same height. So if we notice that we start to dip a shoulder down, that tells us that we're twisting too far for right now. All right, the next time you move into twist, let's hold here. Keep hands really light. We don't want to pull ourselves into twist. We're using the strength in our core to hold us. And release, switch other side. And come on back into center. All right, now we've got time for a 4-minute meditation or final relaxation, Savasana, we call in yoga. And so we would like to get to a comfortable posture. If you'd like to move to reclining for this next few minutes, that's a nice way to do your final relaxation. But seated or standing also works. Relax our hands down to our sides or onto our lap. Relax feet down, legs down. Maybe feel connection to the floor. Find a spot to fix our gaze on or close our eyes. We're going to practice some pranayama to finish out our practice today. And so we're going to use a breathing style called box breathing. For this, we're going to count how long it takes us to inhale. We're looking for a big, long inhale, but not long enough to make us anxious. And then we're going to hold our breath for a couple of counts. Again, not so long that we get anxious. When we exhale, let's count again. And we're looking to establish a pattern where we inhale and exhale for the same number of counts. And then we hold our breath for a couple of counts at the end of the exhale. So it's an inhale, brief hold, long exhale, brief hold. It's called box breathing, so you might imagine that your inhales are the sides of a one side of a rectangular box, the exhales the other side, and then the pauses are the end. I want to honor our time, and so if you're finished with your practice, you can start to wiggle fingers and toes, maybe do some shoulder rolls. If you want to take some more time for relaxation, you should take that. Spend a little more time practicing box breathing. Just enjoying having some time to just breathe. So notice how good we feel after taking a little bit of time for ourselves just to take a break, to breathe and get some movement in. Thanks everybody for practicing today. Tomorrow, please join us for our workshop by Lindsay Evanson, Tips for Training New Employees. Thanks, Mika. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Thanks again for being here.